All right, welcome back to the Business Life and Coffee Show. This segment is called While You Were Working. And this week on While You Were Working, we're turning our attention to an article in Inc.com. Now, these episodes that we've been doing over the past few weeks are really having the major theme of what to do during COVID-19, how to protect your business, how people are pivoting, how to find inspiration, how to take care of your finances. We're trying to find really helpful conversations that will help you protect your business in the long term and in the short term. So this article in Inc.com is called 6 Actions to Take in the Next 90 Days to Save Your Business. And it's really as simple as that. It's all about finding out what you can do to protect your business from people leaving, from customers drying up, from not having cash flow come into your business. That's really a big deal because you want to do all you can as an entrepreneur to protect your business. Even if you're an early stage entrepreneur, people are still buying services. People are still buying products. And even if your current customers aren't, there is a way that you can pivot and find the people that are actually out there trying to find the services or products that you offer. So this article written by Brian Hamilton, and I'll give you about 3 of these because I want you to go and click the link in the show notes so that you're able to read the article in whole and really soak up all this really great information. So the first thing that he says is you want to make sure that you vigorously control what you can and vigorously ignore what you can't control. Now, this is powerful information and powerful tip because if you can control it, why not have strong oversight over it? What are some of the things that you can control? You can control cash outflow. So subscriptions that you have, services that you pay for, you can control the number of hours that people are using for your company, whether that's your employees or your contractors. You can control your attitude. You can control your perspective. You can control the direction that you set your course of actions throughout the day. Just, waking up and saying, okay, well, what am I going to do next? How am I going to move forward in my business? And what am I going to do? You can vigorously control that. There are things that you cannot control, and it doesn't make sense to waste your time thinking about it. Honestly, you can't control whether or not there's a vaccine. You can't control the number of cases that are in your state or in the country or in the world, except you can't control yourself. So try to, practice good social distancing. You can't control, the market. You can't control industry factors. They're just things that, hey, ultimately, at the end of the day, you don't have a handle on them. And so instead of stressing about them, try not to worry. I even need to talk to myself about this too, because every single day, right, I'm logging in and I'm checking, well, what's the status of the loans that I've applied for? What is the status for the grants that I've applied for? And hitting refresh almost every hour, right? But I can't control that. And usually what happens is you get an alert anyway about the information that is coming through. So I'm going to do a better job about ignoring the things that I have no control over. I've done the work. I've submitted the information. So definitely you feel free to be my accountability buddy in ignoring the things that you can't control. The other thing that Brian mentions in the article is that you should guard employee morale. Now, guarding employee morale is super important, especially now because work culture still matters in the midst of a crisis. Whether you're working from home, whether you're working on site, whether your employees aren't working at all, employee morale is super, super important. I had a really great conversation with Lori Rudiman about employee morale and how it's important because at the end of the day, everyone's human, right? We're all experiencing this through our own lens. Some of us have children. Some of us have elderly parents that we are caring for. Some of us have kids who were in college and they're now unsure about what to do with their schooling from this past year. Some of us have family members and friends who are healthcare workers and who are really, experiencing this from the front lines. So it's incredibly important to understand the humanity behind your employees and realize that, hey, everybody's going through this. And the way that you treat people in the midst of crisis definitely shows whether or not they can trust you when times are better. So you want to do everything you can to ramp up employee morale. And we're going to give you some tips on how to do that towards the end of the episode here. But just know that it is important. The third thing that he says is that you should preserve cash where you can. So I am typically a person who likes to pay bills like a month or two in advance. So it's super helpful to do that if you have something that has interest, right? So a car loan, home loan, et cetera, et cetera. I like to double down because I feel like paying ahead gives you a few weeks of margin when it comes to cash flow. But in these times, there's almost a need to do the opposite and pay only what's necessary. The reason being is you want to preserve cash. You want to be liquid. You want to make sure that you are doing everything you can. So in addition to the example earlier about controlling what you can control, it's going to be super important that you preserve cash where you can. So if you have subscriptions that you don't really use, why not see if you can have them suspended or see if you can cancel them and then resubscribe whenever you need them. So preserving cash flow is going to be super important. All right. So Brian has 3 other really great tips. I wish I could share them with you, but I really do want you to check out this article from Inc.com. And it says 6 actions to take in the next 90 days to save your business. So that concludes this week's While You Are Working. If you've got a really good article or you want to share your thoughts on this, why not shoot me a tweet or IG message at Joey V Price HR. So it's Joey V Price HR on both Twitter and Instagram.